Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys. Happy Monday night. Good to see all you guys over here on Instagram joining. Let's see, hey Donna and Drum Boy and a Saturday Horse and China Do down there. Good to see you guys. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments. I'll try to watch for those. And I'm going to see if the chat is working on Facebook. Hey to Melissa Woosley, Taya Moore, Sharon Goff Wilson, Magical Monday indeed, Melissa, and Dana Likens Fleener. Good to see you guys this evening. I don't know if this is working. This is my YouTube chat box. Doesn't look like it, does it? I'll leave it on for a little bit and see if it appears to be connected, but we'll see. Okay, we'll leave it on for now. The add-ons for the XSplit, what I'm using is XSplit streaming software, and the add-ons power the chat boxes, and I would say probably 90% of the time they don't work, so that's too bad for me, huh? Okay, hey to Sharon and Sean, good to see you, and Judith Hezek, good to see you too. Now, when I'm going to present these signs of an angelic presence, but bear in mind that these can also be signs of passed on loved one. So you kind of need to think about that if you encounter any of these signs. It could be an angelic presence, or it could be somebody who's passed on that wants to get your attention or that wants to communicate with you. Now, I have some people that follow what lipsticks I wear, and so I always try to tell everybody at the beginning of the show what I've got on my lips. So tonight this is Physicians Formula Diamond Plumper in Brilliant Berry Diamond. And yes, you will get a tingle when you put it on. Supposedly it's plumping your lips. I don't know. My lips have been thin ever since I was born, and I need all the help I can get. Well, there's Yasmin on YouTube. Hello, my dear. So I guess the chat box is working after all. Hey to Jasmine and Jennifer Rigdon Cash, Courtney Lyons, and Tiana. Good to see you. Yeah, Dana, it's awesome. I love Berry. I love Berry. And this is really, really nice. It's very comfortable and moisturizing. Okay, on to some business. If you guys didn't already know, I am uploading classes on the website kathrynkauffman.com. And so the classes that are uploaded already, thank you, Kennedy, are healing with gemstones, metaphysical uses of gemstones, spiritual communication with gemstones, and also advanced psychic protection. Those are all on the website. All you have to do is go and click on those, and you'll get downloaded all the information and videos. Now that's important because let's say you get a sign of an angelic presence and you want to communicate with it. How are you going to do that? Okay, so gemstones can augment your communication not only with your passed on loved ones, but also with angelic type of energy or entities. And that is in that teaching module, Spiritual Communication with Gemstones. Okay, so if you want to take tonight's episode a little bit further, you go to the website and get that course and use some of the techniques that we go over in the course and the video, and you should have pretty good results. I'm just checking Instagram to make sure you guys don't have any questions over here. And let's check on Facebook. I hope that I can capture any questions that are on Facebook. Sometimes I can, and sometimes it won't show me what your questions are, which is really strange. But, you know, Facebook has had a lot of glitches of late, so I try not to look a gift horse in the mouth because it is a free service for us. Hey to Gary McManus, good to see you tonight. And if you guys have any questions on Facebook, please put them in the comments, and I will try to watch for those. And a special shout out to Patricia Armstrong. Good to see you this evening. So if I look a little bit distracted, there's pop-ups that keep appearing over here for me to renew my McAfee. So I'm a little bit distracted this evening. Hey to Martha McGuire, and I want to ask you, Martha, if you are enjoying your new digs out there in the Midwest or the West, and how's it going out there? Yeah, and Martha, you need to post some pics. I would love to see where you're at now. Now, contrary to popular belief, I like texts and pictures from people as they, like when I do a reading for somebody, I'm sort of invested in them, and I like to see their life changes. I like to see where, you know, where did they end up? What are they doing? You know, are they making progress? Are they doing well? I like to see stuff like that. So don't hesitate to, you know, drop me a text with a new picture of where you're at and what it looks like, because I get excited about that kind of stuff. Hey to Kimberly Whitley, good to see you. And Sharon wants to know, would your class on communicating with gemstones help me connect with my mom? Yes, that was the purpose. I'll tell you, one of the main reasons why I put that teaching together is because, and it's the name of the course is Spiritual Communication with Gemstones, okay? And it's on the website kathrynkauffman.com. And so all you have to do is go to the website, go to the drop down, and go to classes and teaching, and it will be on there. So the main reason why I put that teaching together is there are a lot of people who are separated from their family by bad circumstances. Let's say somebody died really tragically, they never got to say goodbye, and due to their stress and grief, maybe it's difficult for them to communicate with their lost loved one. And so I put this together specifically for those people who are having difficulties as a way to augment or increase the efficacy of their communication, because gemstones will definitely help you achieve that. Hey to Lydia, good to see you, and congratulations to you on your retirement and your whole new life ahead of you. Hey to Fred. So that was the reason why I put together the spiritual use communication with gemstones, is specifically for that group of people. And really, what I did was, as a medium, and several other mediums that I know, use gemstones to kind of augment what we do as far as communication with people who've passed on, to provide that service to the public. And so I thought, why not share those techniques with the lay person who might benefit from that as well? You know, why not give that to everybody so that everybody can have communication with their loved ones, and they don't necessarily have to depend on a medium to give them a session and do that. Because I really believe in empowering the person to take more control over, you know, the connection that they have with their loved ones after they pass. Because, you know, that's a lifelong skill that you can use in more than one area, and it really, enables the person to become more whole, I think, if you empower them to do something for themselves rather than doing it for them, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling now. Hey to Brandywine, good to see you. So Sharon says, I communicate with my dad all the time, but I'm not so lucky with my mom. Okay, so, and that's kind of like in mediumships, when I do mediumships, the first people that usually come through in a mediumship are people who have really good communication skills, and so it's easy for me to communicate with them. But then there are people who in life they didn't have really good communication skills, and they're like that just the same, you know, in the afterlife. They're not easy to communicate with. They just don't have the wherewithal to know how to make a connection. And that is something that is a learned thing. Like the spirit, you don't stop learning just because you lose your body. The learning keeps on, and people in spirit don't automatically have divine knowledge of all these things, and so it can be difficult for them to communicate. Hey to Sandra Buchanan Clemens, good to see you. So just like let's say you got a guy who passes on and he was an electrician in life. That's going to be somebody who turns the lights on and off, turns the TV on and off, because they're familiar with electrical equipment and electricity, and so they use their own electricity to manipulate the circuitry in devices to communicate with us. And so that's somebody who doesn't have to learn that skill. So, you know, maybe a mom or something like that who doesn't know much about electricity is not adept at manipulating that matter. So they would be less likely to flicker the lights on and off. So Brandy wants to know, do you think when we die we do have knowledge of experiences from our earth life? Okay, yes, Brand. So what happens is, you know how your life flashes before your eyes in the moments right before you exit your body. Now, your spirit consists of electromagnetic energy, kinetic energy, thermic energy, and 3 different kinds of light. And when you see that life flashing before your eyes, what's happening is actually, I want you to think of it like a computer download, a computer downloading onto those different types of energy for storage. And so that's not a form of, you know, judgment or anything like that. It's simply the information is downloading to be stored in a different form, conglomeration of those types of energy. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so Sharon wants to know, I thought it might be because she died with dementia. Once the body is gone, the disease is gone, Sharon. Okay, the body was diseased with dementia, and once that is removed, the consciousness is intact. So several things can happen there that you don't get communication. Number one is, if they've completely crossed over into their idea of heaven, that dampens and prevents communication. The second thing is, if they've been reincarnated, they're having a different experience, and their consciousness is blocked from communication. The other one would be if they are not advanced enough to manipulate matter to produce a good communication. So only you, Sharon, can think about which one of those may be applicable. Hey to Samantha Taylor. So the way that I do mediumship, I might as well go into it now because it's very different than what you see on TV. It's nothing like what you see on TV at all. And this is just something that's, you know, specific to me. This is the way that I developed it because I'm the biggest skeptic. and I wanted to make sure that I was getting accurate information. So spirits specifically communicate on theta wave, which is a slow brainwave state. It's almost a trance-like meditation. And so what I do when somebody schedules a mediumship with me, I set aside the entire day. I don't do any other readings for the day, just that, because I want to make sure that it is accurate. And so what I will do is I will focus on the person's name and the date of the reading. I will get up at 10:30 in the morning of their appointment, and I will do a deep trance meditation in theta wave, and I will channel right everybody that comes through, what they said, what they showed me, strange things that I might pick up, go on the side of the paper. And I end about 12:30. I take a little bit of a break, and then the person comes in for their mediumship at 1 p.m. Then when they come in, I explain to them what the spirit consists of, what it looks like. I'll even show them a video of it. We'll discuss how communication takes place with that energy so that the person has knowledge of how they can communicate with their loved one. Okay, then we go over all the channeled information to make sure that it's accurate. This is the only way that I can try to validate the reading, is by not communicating with the person getting the reading beforehand. And so if I channel people that come through that are specifically related to that person, and it's the description of them, and it is, you know, their tendencies and something that they said, then that better validates the actual reading for the client. Now, I leave them with, you know, self-help tools so that they can get their own messages, and that's my goal for everybody, is for them to be able to get their own messages, because to me that means, I think that means more to them than me just doing the reading for them. Oh, Instagram froze. Oh man. Hi, Anna. Ina is on YouTube because Instagram froze, and you know, that's probably why I do so many different platforms, is I want to make sure that if you can't get on one, you can get on another. So Brandy says, I've been studying the star seed theory, where we are all collectors of knowledge to use in our next life or dimension. So I was curious, but you saying that makes me think there is some truth in the theory. Yes, there is. And Brandy, I have a video about the star seed. It's kind of far back in the playlist of Monday Night Live, but so what you want to do is go to the YouTube channel and the playlist Monday Night Live in Lexington, and go back through that playlist. There is a specific video about starseed that you need to watch. So yes, the theory is very valid, and we go into that in the video. Hey to Samantha Taylor, Tina, Donna. So Sharon wants to know, are phone readings as accurate as in person? Absolutely, because you are putting your mind into the subconscious field, and that's the quantum field. And the quantum field, we are all existing in that. Our subconsciouses are all connected in the quantum field. So it doesn't matter if you're sitting in front of me or if we're on the phone. And in a session, I explain more about that. Hey to Sam Montgomery. So I hope that's answered all y'all's questions. And I really hope that if you're having trouble with communication, that you go on the website and get that course, Spiritual Communication with Gemstones, because they definitely can help you connect. And they're so easy to use. Like, this is not something really difficult to do or use. So you guys over here on Instagram, can you do a shout out and tell me if the feed is still rolling or not? Because I don't see any new comments, so and Ina had to switch, so I'm wondering. So Martha said, been learning so much lately about my starseed origins, past lives, and spirit guides. That's awesome, Martha. Please share with everybody if you've been using a certain tool to learn with, or a site maybe that you're finding helpful. We like to share information here. This is the Blue Sea. Everybody shares. Okay, let's get into 7 signs of an angelic presence. And don't forget, this can also mean a sign of your passed on loved one's presence. So the first one is a strong, really cool to coldish type of breeze with no clear origin, particularly if you're in the house and you're not close to any fans or vents. Okay, now this one actually goes with one of the other ones. Let me find out which one it was. It was oh yeah, number 8. Number 8 we're going to go into right now because it kind of goes hand in hand with number 1. And I want you guys to let me know if any of these things have happened to you, and did you identify it as an angelic presence or maybe a passed on loved one. But so the number 1 was a strong, cold, cool type of breeze with no clear origin, particularly if you get it inside the house when you're not near a fan or a vent. And that goes with number 8. Number 8 is out of the blue if you pop up with extreme goosebumps or your hair standing up on end without a cool breeze, again, or near a vent. And this just happens out of the blue. Sometimes these will go hand in hand. Sometimes you will get the cold or cool breeze and then the goosebumps because of it. Sometimes you just get the hair standing up either on the back of your neck or your arms, or goosebumps out of the blue. And then you may have phenomena that happen. So, you know, if any of these type of things happen to you, be really aware of any sounds or any type of phenomena that may happen in or around you during that time frame. So Martha said, yes, 6th grade when I toured George Washington's house, Mount Vernon. The house had no AC, but had a very cool breeze near his bedroom. And that's significant, Martha, because, you know, if somebody passed away in that bedroom, there could be lingering energy there. I don't know if he might have passed away in the bedroom, but, you know, sometimes the room where somebody has transitioned holds a lot of their energy. So Samantha says, I'll have to look forward those videos. I have found it hard to connect with my mom. The one time I felt a connection was 2 years ago on Christmas Eve. I was super sick with the flu, felt horrible. She came to me in my dream and just laid in bed with me and held me. Oh, that's so nice. I felt so much better when I woke up Christmas Day. Now, that's important too, Samantha, because when you are sick, your brain waves are altered and they're slower. And so your brain waves were probably slow enough to receive the information or the presence of her communication. So I think maybe if you practiced a little theta wave meditation, you might, and maybe used a gemstone to augment communication, you might have some really nice visitations coming up that you could achieve. So Lydia says, definitely have the goosebumps out of the blue fairly often. That's awesome. But more rarely the cool breeze. And Melissa says, my mom felt something was pushing her at Henry Clay's home. Yeah, that's unnerving, Melissa, because I've been pushed on several occasions, and it is not a good feeling after all. Okay, let's go into number 2. Number 2 is, this is the second sign of an angelic presence, is a very warm and loving feeling around the heart chakra. The feeling will be that of overwhelming love, okay, that really warms the soul and it fills you up. If you just get the heat and the warm feeling, you better check yourself for chest pain. But this is an overwhelming feeling of love that is very deep in the heart chakra. So Martha says, holy moly, I just looked it up. George Washington passed in his bedroom. So Martha, you probably picked up on that energy that was in there that got imprinted during the transition. So that's definitely what we would call a haunted bedroom. Samantha says, I felt a cat brush up against me tonight. We don't have a cat. Okay, so think back, Samantha. Have you ever had a cat? Or maybe the people that lived in the home before you had a cat? So the cat, even though you may not have had a cat, if you're in a place where the cat, passed on and it's still connected to the property, it could be attached to the property, and if it's a friendly cat, you know, rubbing up against your leg. One of my cats is attached to this property here where I live, and often I will hear her sneeze down here in the studio where I'm recording. And it's a very unique sneeze to her, so I know that she is still around. Okay, number 3 is the smell of roses without physical origin. Now, many people say that the smell of the roses is related to the Virgin Mary, but it can also accompany the cool breeze in number 1. So you may get the cool breeze in number 1 and then the smell of the roses. Now, let's see, there's somebody on YouTube with a comment. Let me try to get it. Ina says, several years ago, when my husband was ill, he saw a young woman of Native American descent in our bedroom. He was adamant she was his angel. Yes, she's probably a spirit guide, Ina, and he definitely might have seen her in there, and she probably was trying to give him a message. So, yeah, I'm trying to get the box where I can see the comments a little bit better. So, yeah. Okay, I'm just checking to make sure there's no comments that I've missed. Okay, number 4 is ringing in the ears, and specifically the left ear, because the left ear is the reception from the right brain. And the message comes in on the right brain, but you're going to feel it through the left ear because you're receiving it here through the right brain. And if people don't know, this side of your brain controls the opposite side of your body. And so that's why you're going to receive it in the right brain, but you'll hear it in the left ear. Now, both ears could specifically ring. That can happen too. But a lot of people usually report to me that they will have the ringing in the ear in only one ear. And I would say probably 90% of the time when they tell me about it, it is the left ear. So ringing in the left ear can be a sign of an angelic presence. And you definitely need to be aware of any type of phenomena that's going on around you. When you hear that, start paying attention to your environment for other sounds or for things that move or for light or something like that. So Samantha gets ear ringing a lot. So another thing you can do if you're getting ringing in the ear is do an EVP session, and you can do that over your phone with a recording app. you know, like a voice memo app or something. And so when you're having the ringing occur, during that time where the ringing is happening, go and do an EVP session and see if you pick up on anything. The ringing is usually either the angelic presence or a spirit trying to communicate something with you. And so you may actually pick up the resonant energy in an EVP on a recording that will really answer a lot of questions for you. Number 5 is finding a feather, but specifically a white feather. And let's say it's the time of year when you wouldn't normally even find feathers outside. Let's say that the birds have all migrated. It's in the middle of January. You're not going to find a white feather. They can even present you with the image of a white feather. So let's say you get a card or a magazine or something like that that has the picture of a white feather on it. That's a direct communication with you. So Samantha says, I've always been scared to do that. I'm afraid something bad will come through. So Samantha, just always do a prayer of protection before you do the session so that you only receive positive spiritual communication from your loved ones only, and it will be fine. You won't have to worry about it. So, so even if you just see a picture of a white feather, that's the communication, especially if the phenomena is very difficult to produce. Like I said, you know, in January, you're not going to find many feathers. You're going to find those more in the spring or early summer. So specifically what we'd like to have is a white feather. So Samantha wants to know, well, we'll have to try that. What about crow feathers? Those are definitely communications as well. Like I said, any type of feather is a communication. And, you know, you can go into the symbology for white feathers versus a crow feather. But to me, if it's an easy thing for them to produce, they will give you any feather that they can. You know, they're going to take and use whatever is available in the environment for them to get the communication across to you. So sometimes it will be just a crow feather, sometimes it will be a robin's feather, sometimes it'll be a white dove's feather, and those are the really special ones. But whatever is easy for them to reproduce in the environment is what they'll use. I mean, spirits will use whatever they can to try to connect with you and to let you know that they are there. So Martha says, a white feather blew and rolled in between my feet as I was walking a few weeks ago on my way to Arizona. That is really good, Martha. Did you save the feather? Like, did you keep it? Did you save it? And if you did, I would love, love, love it if you would post a picture on your Facebook of that feather. That would be so flippin' cool. I would love that. Okay, number 6 is if you receive unexpected messages of encouragement. And these can be as simple as getting something really good that you need to hear from a fortune cookie, or maybe a friend sends a card of encouragement that you needed to hear, because spirits and angels can influence your friends to send you the communication that you need to hear. And it's not really coming from the friend, it's really coming from the angel or spirit who has influenced that person to write the card. So the key here is it's an unexpected message of encouragement. Let's say you have a friend that always sends you cards. That may not be angelic influence, but if it's somebody that you don't communicate with a lot, and out of the blue, they send you exactly what you needed to hear, that was influenced by an angelic force or a spirit of a lost loved one. Now, let's see. Also, if you find a message written on something in a public place that is exactly what you need to hear, you may have been influenced or guided to see that. That's directly from an angelic source. Now, number 7 is really cool, and a lot of people get this. Finding coins in an unexpected place. Have you ever heard of the term pennies from heaven? And that's why we say pennies from heaven, because angelic beings and spirits can do what we call apport, and they can apport small objects like keys, coins, pens, papers, things like that. And you're going to find these coins in very unexpected places, like laying out in places where you don't lay change down, like maybe the kitchen counter or the bathroom, that you maybe say you always lay your coins out of your pocket in your bedroom on the bedroom table. You don't ever lay them in the bathroom, and suddenly you find coins in the bathroom. That's directly from them. So Martha said, no, it kept blowing, but it felt so divinely timed as it passed through my feet. Oh, I wish you had caught it. Hey to Ann, good to see you tonight. So Judith says she gets a lot of coins and shiny rocks in unexpected places. Exactly what I'm talking about, Judith. So keep those. And the shiny rocks, if they have a degree of quartz in them, you can use those for the spiritual communication. And it could be that they have a high degree of quartz, and that's why they're kind of showing up. So it may be, Judith, that online teaching would really help you make some progress. Okay. So we already went over number 8, which was the goosebumps, because it kind of goes with number 1. And I know I'm going past 7, but it's like there were a lot more, and I was like, well, I have to mention these 3 because they're pertinent. So I really should have put 11 signs of an angelic presence. So I should have labeled it that, but the promos were already done, and I didn't feel like redoing them. So I'm going to give you more than 7. So, number 9 is when you get butterflies in the stomach area or a strong gut feeling in the solar plexus area. Again, without etiology or stimulus, and especially if you get visual images that accompany this in the back of your mind, that is definitely a sign of an angelic presence or a lost loved one. So Silvana over here on YouTube says, I was laying in bed and all of a sudden I felt a coldness to my lower back. No other part of my body was cold. That's definitely a contact from either a spirit or an angelic presence, because in one of my past videos we were talking about how spirits make a connection with you, and it's electromagnetic. And so the lower back and the upper back, especially next to the spine area, is a very common area for them to make contact with your central nervous system. And so you're going to feel that electrical type of sensation or that cold feeling as they make contact or try to connect with you through the central nervous system. And I can't remember exactly which video it was, Silvana, that information was on, but we specifically talked about that in one of the old videos. But I'm glad you asked that, because back in the ghost hunting days in the early 2000s, when I worked with KPI, and we did a lot of investigations, you could see the orbs traveling through the air, and they would actually impact a person either in the back of the neck or towards the lower back. And that's what I think is happening. You're welcome, Silvana. So that's number 9. the strong gut feeling or butterflies in your solar plexus area, and especially if you're getting visual images that accompany this, really pay attention to that. I'm just checking for questions. Let's see. Lydia says, I had a quarter fly at me out of nowhere a few weeks ago. I just laughed. Yes, because you knew who it was, Lydia. You knew who it was. And Melissa says, not long after Ken passed, the bedroom that accommodated his oxygen tank, pennies were all over the carpet. That is so neat. That is so cool. Absolutely. I love hearing stuff like this. Samantha says, I hear electricity quite often, even when driving. Street lights will be off and turn on, or be on and turn off as I drive past them. It's unusual for sure. Absolutely, and it's very easy for a spirit to manipulate electromagnetic energy because you're made of electromagnetic energy. And I have to remind people in mediumships that you're made of kinetic energy, you know. As a living thing, you move, dead bodies don't move, and so you're made of kinetic energy. So it's normal to have a spirit open and close doors or cabinets. That's normal because you're made of kinetic energy. So, try not to be scared or freak out when things like that happen, because it is just the person trying to get your attention or to let you know that they are definitely there. Okay, number 10 is seeing the angel number 1111. Okay, now another really strong indicator of the divine is seeing an angel number 888 or 8888. And these numbers are specifically related to divine energy or angelic energy. Now, there are lots of numbers online. They call them angel numbers. Spirits use numbers to communicate because it's the universal language. So, like, for example, before we got online tonight, I was number 1, right? It's just me. I'm by myself. And I'm the beginning and end. But when you joined me online, you made number 2, okay? And now we're communicating and we're connecting. And that's what number 2 means. And so each number has a different meaning. But the numbers 11 and 11 and 888 specifically mean the divine cosmic. And so when you see those in specific, it is a divine reference. Ina sees 111 quite often. That is so good, Ina. So Kennedy says 47777. Yep, absolutely. And Samantha always sees 2s and 3s. Now those have specific meanings. So what I'll do after the show is, and if you're on Facebook, that's the only place I can do it, is I will leave a link to my Amazon shop. It's got 4 lists on there of specific reading. And on the Psychic Improvement list, there's a book called Synchronicity Numbers, and it tells you the meanings, the accurate meanings of all the numbers, because I've used the references online that are called angel numbers, but they're not the true reflection of what the number actually means. And so if you really want an accurate representation of what the numbers mean, and the book is Synchronicity Numbers. It was written by Anne-Marie Uber, is the author, but I'll leave a link to my Amazon shop, and all you have to do is click on that and go to Psychic Improvement list, and all the books will be listed there and linked there for you as well. Now, number 11 is the last one that I'm going to present for you guys tonight, and that is if you get an unexpected gift that is very, very much needed. Let's say you need $500 to make your rent and you're really stressing about how you're going to make your rent, and then suddenly you get $500 in the mail from an unexpected source. That's definitely the sign of an angelic presence intervention. Okay? And it's just been my experience that if you are trying to elicit help from an angelic source, you almost have to be in a state of desperation to make the connection, or for them to do an intervention. Now, if you guys have had anything different in your life, please let us know in the comments. Have you had a different experience with that? But just my experience, you have to be in a degree of earnest to elicit help from an angel. And there are a lot of people who are very sort of pompous and think that they can control angels, or they can tell an angel what to do, or absolutely not. You can elicit and ask for help, but I call it, you can petition for an intervention. And if you are honest and true and earnest about your situation, I've seen a lot of interventions happen for people, and I've had a lot of interventions happen for myself. In fact, there's a video about angels that's way back in the playlist on Monday Night Live, and I think my hair is completely still dark in that video. So that's how you can tell how long ago that video was. So please feel free to go back and watch that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget, if you want to increase the efficacy of your communication, go to KathrynKauffman.com, go to the classes and teachings section, and get that spiritual communication with gemstones, because that's me sharing my knowledge about how I use them for mediumship. I'm sharing that with you, okay, so that you can have a better experience. So Samantha says, trying to control an angel is like trying to control Mother Nature. That's a good analogy, Samantha. I love that. And Amber says, I've had things that appeared angel, like huge and white, felt warm all over, but it was not. I feel I blocked too much from that experience working through it. So, Amber, you just have to be very diligent about doing a prayer of protection before you open your psychic centers. And thank you, Amber. And Big Mike, thank you. Great to be retired off second shift so I can enjoy this information. Love you guys. I love you, Mike and Barbary, and I'm glad to see you on here. Big Mike Kelly. Lydia says, thank you for validating what I thought was going on. You're welcome. That's the purpose of all the videos that I do, is to just get the knowledge to you guys. You'll do with it what you will. And the sessions that I do are just 60 minutes, and these videos are very helpful at answering all the other questions that go beyond the 60-minute session, so people can leave the session and go and watch the YouTube channel and have the rest of their questions hopefully answered without having to pay for another session. So, and we'll see you, Dana. Good to see you tonight. So listen, things coming up. I'm talking to a few people about coming on the show. One of them is a Reiki healer, and she also reads tarot, and I would like to have you, I would like to introduce you to her and have her on the show. And thank you, Amber. And I'm also hoping that Amber will work with me on getting the mediumship classes put up on the website. So Amber, we got to get together on that too. But I know you're busy because you're moving and everything. Hey to Sheila. Good to see you tonight. So I've got a couple people I'm going to bring on the show. And if you guys, in the meantime, if there's something specific that you want the answer to that maybe I can help with, message me either on email or on Messenger, or DM me on Instagram, or you can even message me on YouTube. I check those messages a little bit less frequency, but I do get to them. So, message me and let me know, and I can do a show on it. Meanwhile, I've got a whole list of stuff brewing in the background for shows, but I do like to know what you guys are needing. What are you needing of late, and what do you struggle with? As a matter of fact, next week what I'm going to do, in the meantime, I developed a really quick technique for the relief of stress. You're going to be really surprised at it, and why and how it works. And I think I'll do a real quick video on that next week, because look, I was hoping for a better year this year. I was hoping for a better year this year, but I think we better do the video on the stress technique. What do you think? Right, Martha? Definitely the stress technique. So let's do that next week. Kisses from Kentucky, and I will see you guys next week. Bye now.